Hi everyone, we're back again. The last time we spoke about preparation and planning for pregnancy. This time, Dr. Sneha and I will be talking about the journey of being pregnant, the psychological transition that comes in. So, this brings me to our first question. Why do we consider pregnancy as a very significant transition in our lives,
Right.
especially psychologically?
Right. I think that's interesting because it has multitudes of layers behind it. And one of the reasons I think is there's a lot happening at an individual level, at a family level, and then also at a community level, at least it should be. So that transition means that so many people are involved and so many factors need to be considered, which will clearly create a sort of responsibility or sense of planning and purpose during the pregnancy. So I think that transition brings in a lot of psychological challenges, which a person has to meet in order to continue in a healthy manner, healthy manner during the pregnancy. So one of the things that happens as a medical doctor, I would want to say, is that of course we know about biology and biological changes that happen with the pregnant women. So at a certain level, your hormones change to prepare for the placenta starts developing, the uterus is preparing for having the baby and the growth of the baby. And all of that means that there are rapid changes happening in the hormones in your body. And that means that so many changes in terms of blood volume, in terms of how your body is taking nutrition, in terms of where that nutrition and energy is being diverted, and what happens if you're not fed enough or you don't have enough nutrition, if you're not sleeping enough. All of that has an impact on how your body eventually prepares for the baby. And I think that's the first part only, right? The second part comes in that with the baby coming into the picture, a new mom, that transition is also happening.
Yeah.
For a woman who's having a first child, she's becoming a mother and becoming a new entity in herself. So that involves a lot of psychological changes. The preparation for the responsibility, what it means to be a mother, and where how society views a mother and motherhood, and how as an individual you view motherhood can really be different.
Yeah.
And then the community roles that you might be and expectations that might be put on you. And then I'll say that in a social setting, of course, motherhood, the institution of motherhood is viewed in a different lens, away from the individual. So that creates further pressure sometimes, and sense of responsibility on the mother, which can lead to all this psychological shift that a mother or a woman experiences.
Interesting. Very interesting. I was thinking about how it's not only physiological changes, right? It starts with that, and then it really spreads to a lot of identity transition.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And it further, enhances in your relationships changing, your thought changing.
Yeah.
So much change is happening, which is also not something that's going to be predictable.
Yes.
You can keep planning for it, like we said the last time. But I was really wondering the significant transition to what you really said, that it'll keep happening. At different layers and different capacities will keep changing.
Yes.
And something that you can keep planning, but you don't know if that's certain.
Yes.
If that's the way it's going to change. And I think that can feel a lot.
It is. It is. And I think for people who want to be prepared, and this general sense of responsibility being placed on individuals now rather than communities and society in general. So so people start feeling that it's my responsibility, my child being raised in Delhi, or me being pregnant in Delhi. The responsibility for pure air and healthy air is on me. It should be on the state in general, the society in general, right? But as I think people don't even realize that once you're pregnant, and I remember this from my own experience, that last year during this time I was pregnant, and the pollution levels were a frequent cause of concern. And then to just put it on the mother कि आप pollution देखना और अपना ध्यान रखना doesn't really make sense. You can't put that responsibility on a mother, but eventually society is reducing it to that. And this was just an example, but in this manner, so much about nutrition, about healthy eating, about the environment, it has just been reduced to a mother's job to ensure that you're taking care of your baby, and if something doesn't go well, the harmful effects are also put on the person who was pregnant.
Yeah. I think also with that, one thing I want to take us little step back. When people are getting naturally, a couple is getting pregnant, this journey starts. You start seeing the changes. But there are also many couples, especially in today's time, with the kind of change we have in terms of stress levels and working hours, all of that, people are struggling to naturally conceive. And I think at that point in time, the testing, the biological test that you have to go through, the blood work, so many intrusions in the body right from the beginning that happen, that also takes a big toll. You start wondering that why am I doing this? I work with lots of potential people who want to be parents, and when they struggle, something that we hold in the therapy room is how all of these tests start making you feel sometimes a little less of yourself.
Inadequate. Yeah. Not a complete woman,
Yeah.
not a complete.
And I think that also needs to be highlighted here. That some of these things, like I said, are so unpredictable, uncertain, and they don't only change the relationships or your life, and it's irreversible change now.
Yes.
But something changes within you about yourself, how you perceive yourself, how you think of yourself.
It would. I think because again, like the term institution of motherhood, like there's a whole set of expectations that are created without taking into account that individual journeys are going to be completely different.
Yeah.
And you can't say कि इसी तरह से सब mothers का experience रहना चाहिए, or pregnancy should just happen naturally and without any stress. And you know how it's glorified even in the initial phases, like, so I think that definitely what you said is very relevant, that it might not come naturally to a certain segment, which is also a large number. And there will be those worries and anxiety and invasive testing, and also looking at what ways to choose forward. Go forward in terms of, like, what decision do you make and what do you take into account? Because so many people will come in with the decision making who will want to have a say in that. And but interestingly, it just makes me think that when anybody is trying to get pregnant, there is this thing about age ke baad. So that frequently comes in, and jo humne last time we discussed kiya tha. But I meet so many women, who are at 30, who will say ki now I have to get married, and because my biological cycle.
Yeah.
And when I got pregnant, I was categorically in the geriatric pregnancy group, right? So medical, like an elderly woman getting pregnant is what my label was, which sounded insane to me because, like, come on, look, I'm not would not fall into geriatrics. So that labeling also. And so many women around us are choosing now to get pregnant later in life, but also that labeling that happens, and then suddenly you're questioning a lot of what comes with it.
Yeah.
So when we were trying to get pregnant, there was a lot of questions about what if it doesn't happen? And if it doesn't happen, what are we willing to put at risk, or what are the steps? And those questions will come consequently. And I think that again is missed from conversations around pregnancy.
Yeah. I think to wrap up, what we are discussing here about this particular transition, it's important for everyone who is, you're naturally conceiving, or you're planning for pregnancy, or you're planning for the tests, be it IVF, or there are so many, IUI, all of those steps. It is very important to start understanding and exploring to what extent, in terms of treatment, in terms of conception, in terms of support, you want to move ahead. I think that it's okay to start defining your own transition and identity. You can have that control.
Yes.
I think it's taken away from us many times. And I think that we can hope to rebuild.
100%. And I think just to add another thing quickly would be that people will tell stories, and the purpose of stories is to relate and to hear, while also holding on to the narrative that it's not necessary that I'll fit on those stories.
Yeah.
And also not dismissing other stories.
Yes.
Like as a woman, you can choose, if your pregnancy was not hard, you can choose not to dismiss other women's experiences. And to not like say ki aise to hota hi nahi hoga, or like my capacity is unique, or like I've seen that sense of superiority also in conversations, and I'm like, dude, you were lucky probably, and thank your stars, and I'm happy for you, but allow space for other stories and conversations to also come in all the time.
Yeah.
And also don't choose to be defined by them. You can absolutely be very different from what is being talked about, but still hold the space for other people.
Absolutely. So, Dr. Sneha, I'm curious, the way you were talking about how so many things change. Food, nutrition, the right amount of nutrition, your workout, all of that sort of changes.
Yeah.
What are the internal shifts, once you are pregnant? That journey has started. What do you think internally starts shifting?
So I think if I talk about from a personal standpoint, I would say that the moment you get to know that you're pregnant, and if your cycles are regular and you get to know in very early on that you might be pregnant, and then you go for testing, I think what it essentially stood out was that even though mentally, like I know inside me, there's changes happening, for me that experience did not change anything outside, or in terms of like my appearance, or what I was feeling, or the early experiences of like nausea or morning sickness did not really happen to me, thankfully. So when that did not happen, it was hard to, nothing changed, right? So in a certain sense, I was pregnant, but also I felt that nothing is different, but I'm supposed to feel different. And that's supposed to feel different. You're supposed to feel a certain way. This is the expectation that I think everybody puts on you. And you are also wondering, ki ho kya raha hai? Like, what's happening? Is something happening and I'm not reading it? And am I not self-aware? So those changes and shifts in like psychological, I think that's what shifts. You start thinking from beyond yourself as an individual earlier to now as a like a unit of a mother and an extension beyond you, where you have no idea what that means, at least for the first like time you're pregnant. And so then you don't know, you're at loss about words, you're at loss about experiences, and then you are constantly looking, I think, online, or you're hearing other people's stories, wanting to see that at what point that this turns into a tangible thing. Because so I think besides the thing that we have spoken about role changes, and like deciding on planning, responsibility, all that comes in. This certain sense is there that something has shifted, but I don't know what's shifted and how to name it or what to say. The other thing I feel is that there is an added sense of responsibility that you start taking, which is in a way a nice thing. You start feeling like, abhi tak I was just responsible for myself, and my bad choices were just affecting me. So me reaching out for a chocolate would mean that it's for me. I'm okay with it. I'm choosing to do this. But when I was pregnant, then suddenly everything became about, is it good for the baby? Right? So every decision, I think that that mental maths that happens, where you keep on thinking ki you're trying to put in scenarios and say, is this good for the baby? Am I being responsible enough? Am I being considerate enough? I'm taking care of myself. Those all questions creep into everything that you're doing, I think. And that's a big, your priorities also shift. So who you might be as a person, where you're a working professional or a homemaker, you will certainly shift on to more of me, myself, and my baby, which is a good thing. But I think at some point wanting to create a perfect environment can give in a lot of anxiety.
Yeah.
Because we want to do that. We want to create a perfect world for our children, and before that we want to give them a perfect uterine environment. So which is not possible, and I think that constant struggle comes in. And like I said, with the world around you not being attuned. Another thing, I think this shifting means that you start realizing how neglected this topic is, right? Like it's a big thing for you. You're going through such a big change, but I think nothing around you changes. Like people acknowledge if you choose to tell them, which can be at different stages, but also the world is still the same, right? And you want it to be different, to sort of acknowledge and mark the period of transition, which it's not doing. And that can be something that leaves you wondering what's happening. So I think a lot of that transition happens early on, especially if we talk about when none of the physical changes have started being noticeable enough.
Visible,
Yeah. So you're just reeling with what happens.
You're really trying hard to read.
Yeah. I remember that, I was asking constantly with my friends who were being pregnant, like, when did you first know? Like, from the test, but like, when did you first experience that I'm pregnant? Something has changed about me and something is growing inside of me.
Yeah.
So because there was this curiosity, am I missing those things? I think a lot of self-doubt also comes in.
Yeah. I think then it would be somewhere right to say, right, that each pregnancy that they really say is different.
Yes.
Means a lot.
Mm-hmm.
That although we all have access to Google and now AI, but still that uncertainty remains. The difference, the uniqueness of each person, each pregnancy, each body really stays.
Yeah.
Which also brings me to one more curiosity about internal experience. And this is more so as a therapist. Just imagining if you were in my therapy room. Have you ever experienced in that internal shift about attachment, how you were parenting, and do we in this period of these 9 months where we're really waiting now for this third to come in, we are very responsible for this third, very real and live it was going to be. How would I parent?
Yes. No, 100%. And I think the good thing was that those conversations started even before we conceived between me and my partner, and a lot of boundary setting in respect to what it would mean, who are going to take the specific decisions when it comes to child rearing. So definitely, and especially from this lens of what sort of a parent would I want to become. And like I said, initially there is this concept of, even in your head, of being a perfect parent. And thankfully, because we've studied about it and we have the luxury of meeting so many people who share their in-depth of experiences, I had already prepared myself to be a good enough mother, right? Like, you just be a good enough mother. And another thing that really made sense, and sort of everybody had told me about it when I talk about friends, is that your view of how your parents have parented you is also evolving at that time.
Yes.
Right? And then you've seen them differently before, and suddenly you see them differently, more in terms of what could have been different. So I want to share a personal experience here, which really affected me when I was pregnant. Was because my mother's experience of carrying twin pregnancy. And, when she would talk about when she was pregnant, twin pregnancy, they were supposed to do all the household work by themselves, even till the last month. And all throughout my pregnancy, I kept wondering, constantly, I think at the end of the day, it'll be like, if it were twins I was carrying and I was supposed to do a lot of other physically intensive labor, where would I be? Also, my mother was 15 years younger to me when she conceived.
Yeah.
Right? And that wisdom of 15 years and that was missing. So I think a lot of processing happens. Also, because I am a mental health professional, I think वो lens मुझे advantage देता है कि I can look at it in a different manner. But of course, you're constantly reevaluating everything, and I'm thinking how my husband was raised, and what are the good points, what are the bad points, how I was raised, so I was constantly evaluating that, and I think I keep evaluating it even now, because I think that you can never let go of the parenting changes that come in after that.
Yeah, I think what I really want to also highlight here is that in many groups, you hear about some of these statements. I just want to be like my mom. I want to be that mom to my kid, or I just don't want to parent the way I was parented, right?
100%.
And maybe I want to drop into parents who hear us that you can take parts of both. Parent you don't wish to be, and why? and maybe sometimes that don't is necessary to actually be. That's the real journey of the good enough, or you know how our supervisors in therapy would tell us to be with our patients and says just being a trying therapist. You don't have to be the perfect therapist.
Yes.
So I feel like whenever I meet a parent, I want to tell them you don't have to be a perfect parent. You just have to be a trying enough parent.
100%.
And it's when you're trying, then you open the platform to be good and bad both. Some days you will be both. Some you will be only bad for your child. And then some days you'll be really good. So even pregnancy in that 9 period may be like that. Good days, bad days, and
Ugly.
very ugly and thoughtful days.
Yeah, good, bad, and and I think that's a human experience, assimilating the good, bad, and ugly in one, and also wanting to be better.
Yeah.
And I also keep telling parents this, that you can't be a perfect parent, because that would mean there is a perfect child
Yeah.
for which there is a perfect parent, right? No child is the same.
Yeah.
So how can you be a perfect parent? If you have 3 kids, you are going to be the same parent. You can't change your parenting for each one of them. So of course there will be some some places where you'll fail, some places where you'll be good. But at least if the everything is in trying, I think,
Yeah.
the good part is in trying.
Yeah.
And another thing that I keep saying people is that don't try to be perfect. Perfection is God, and you can't be God. That would be blasphemous to try to be God. So just keep trying to be better.
And too much responsibility.
Too much responsibility. Yes. So I think now this question is directed at you. I want to understand where you must have seen different patterns coming up and becoming more intensified when somebody is expecting. So firstly, does that happen? And why do you think that might be happening?
It does happen. It definitely happens. To give it a more simpler understanding, I think we therapists have a way to complicate our words. So to simplify it, it happens for many reasons. One of the very basic, I would say, to start the ground is that when you've already experienced anxiety, even before planning pregnancy, the anxiety experience in pregnancy can be different and can touch roots from if you've experienced it in the past and other forms of concerns, right, and stressors. It rings a bell. Your nervous system is now preparing you. Your brain, your body is now preparing you for something, like we said, so different as a change.
Yes.
And here, you're shifting gears. You've been an adult before you started to pregnancy. But now you have to be an adult for this new third in your life. You have to care for this third in your life, this child in your life. So what we're here really saying is that suddenly the focus of from me is also on this person, right? And this is a very small little thing that you choose everything for, which also starts setting in your earlier attachment wounds you've had. And when we say wounds, it doesn't mean something must have really happened. It can just mean, like, we spoke earlier, that how was I parented? You want to go back and open that book again.
Yeah.
When your hormones are changing in pregnancy, a lot changes, right? Not only, I think our movies have a way to highlight that a female is only crying or she's craving. There's a lot more happening.
Yes.
This is a time where a lot of your coping skills are tested and questioned. So if you are feeling depressive, if you are scared, if you're fearing what kind of a parent are both of us going to be, how stressed am I currently? How do I go back to work? All of that always wound is being questioned and opened.
Yes.
Suddenly your body and brain is saying, this is so unpredictable, give me some control.
Yeah.
There can be so many unresolved emotions or grief or situations which you never consciously sort of thought, right? And now suddenly your body is saying, I'm zipped open, cut into pieces to be literally that. I'm taking medicines, I've been told what to do, I need to change, I need to plan for change. And maybe you've not done that in the past. And some may have done that and suddenly they are feeling, oh shit, this coping is not working for me. What do I do now? So I think all of that does intensify a lot that can show up from your past.
Yes.
And here, very gently, I do want to put, when we are very aware about how traumatic our past could have been or has been, that can be a lot more hyperactive nervous system and brain for us, because any change means that how will I survive this, right? And that happens a lot for people.
Right, right. So I think from, I just add on to that from a medical perspective, that pregnancy does put you all the changes, physiological and psychological and social that are happening, puts you at risk for a mental health condition.
Yeah.
And if you've in the past suffered from a mental health condition, तो आपका risk और भी बढ़ सकता है to re-experience that during pregnancy. That's why pregnancy is a vulnerable state, right? And you need all sort of support and care, which you owe to yourself also, and people around you and the village around you also has to come together to help you through this process.
Yeah, definitely.
So thank you, Sanjoni. I think that was quite an insightful conversation, and I hope it is insightful for our viewers. And we'll keep this discussion going, because I feel ki incomplete sa hai, and there's so much more to be discussed, because of course 9 months the pregnancy goes on, and it's a long time in terms of what your body experiences, in terms of also your anxieties and graduating. Different forms of anxiety will present itself in different stages, and what happens postpartum. So we'll discuss that in our next meeting.
Absolutely.
And please stay tuned for more.